Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Al Sharpton, a noticeable figure in American culture, is a man of many caps, a Baptist minister of social liberties, an extremist and a TV radio moderator. Sharpton has committed his life to battling racial bias and looking for equity for underestimated networks. While his net worth may not match that of some high-profile, famous people with an assessed worth of $500,000, his impact and effect on the public stage are limitless. Sharpton's ascent to conspicuousness can be traced back to the 1980, when he arose as a conspicuous voice in the battle against racial separation. His alluring character and strong speech abilities pushed him to the front of the social liberties development, where he became known for his relentless obligation to correspondence and decency. Anyway, Sharpton's proud position and angry style have likewise made him a questionable figure. While some respect his courage and enduring determination, others reprimand him for his disruptive manner of speaking and seen advantage by his capacity to flash conversations and point out basic issues that can't be denied. Alfred Charles Sharpton Jr. was brought into the world on October 3, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York City. Sharpton confronted critical difficulties right on time in life. His dad, Alfred Charles Sharpton Sr., left the family when Al was simply 9 years of age, leaving his mom to accommodate the family all alone. Monetary troubles constrained them to move from their middle-class neighborhood to public lodging projects in Brooklyn's Brownsville area. Regardless of the difficulties, Sharpton's assurance and versatility drove him to seek after training. He went to Samuel J. Tien Secondary School and later enlisted at Brooklyn School anyway. Following 2 years, he chose to leave school, previously finishing his certificate. Sharpton's energy for civil rights and his strict childhood drove him on an alternate way early in life, around 9 or 10 years of age. Sharpton's otherworldly excursion took a significant turn when he was authorized and appointed as a Pentecostal priest by Priest F.D. Washington. This early association with the congregation would impact his future undertakings extraordinarily in 1969. Sharpton's contribution to activism started at the point when he was delegated as the adolescent overseer of the New York City part of the Bread Bin by Jesse Jackson activity. Bread Bin zeroed in on setting out work open doors for African Americans. Sharpton's commitment, what's more, authority abilities radiated through, and in 1971, he established the Public Youth Development Association. This association meant to raise assets to help oppressed youngsters. By the 1980s, Sharpton had turned into a broadly perceived extremist, known for his relentless obligation to fighting racial, as his contribution in high-profile cases brought him both consideration and debate. One such case involved Tanabroy, a youngster who made misleading claims of being grabbed and assaulted by a gathering of white men. This episode gathered critical media inclusion and ignited extraordinary discussions throughout his profession. Sharpton has been a vocal promoter for people confronting shamefulness. He has stood up for Bernhard G.S. Youth Hawkins, Amadou Diallo, Trayvon Martin, Eric Earn, and numerous others. His presence and strong voice have assisted shed light on fundamental issues and the requirement for social change in 1991. Sharpton laid out the Public Activity Organization, NAN, an association devoted to different causes counting citizen instruction, local area administrations, and backing for little organizations. NAN has filled in as a stage for Sharpton to intensify his message and assemble networks to make a move. One of the most remarkable occasions in Sharpton's activism vocation was the dissent he drove in 1999, following the heartbreaking demise of Amadou Diallo, a migrant from Guinea who was shot and killed by New York City cops. Sharpton emphatically denounced the episode, charging police fierceness and prejudice, although the respondents were later vindicated in the criminal preliminary. Diallo's family got a $3 million settlement in an improper demise claim against the city in 2001. Al Sharpton ended up in the middle. Once more of contention, he was imprisoned for 90 days on charges of intruding while fighting U.S. military objective shooting practices in Puerto Rico close to a U.S. Naval Force besieging site. Subsequent to burning through 2 days in a Puerto Rican jail, he was moved to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn on May 25, 2001. Sharpton was eventually delivered on August 17 of that very year. The next year, in 2002, Sharpton joined fights following the grievous demise of Ousmane Zango, a West African worker. Zango, who was unarmed, was shot by a secret cop during a strike on a distribution center in Manhattan's Chelsea segment. Sharpton met with Zango's family and gave them lawful help during this troublesome time. On November 25, 2006, another misfortune struck when Sean Chime was shot furthermore, killed by plain-shut criminal investigators of the New York Police Office in Sovereigns, New York. The occurrence included the officials discharging 50 projectiles. Sharpton, as a noticeable social liberties pioneer, stood up against the shooting and requested equity for Ringer and his family in spring 2008. Sharpton held a public interview to shed light on what he accepted was the inconsistent treatment of 4 assault suspects in the Dunbar Town Lodging Project in West Palm Beach, Florida. The suspects, youthful individuals of color, were blamed for assaulting, furthermore, beating a dark Haitian lady at gunpoint, as well as constraining her to perform oral sex on her 12-year-old child. Sharpton's contribution in this situation was intended to feature the significance of fair and equivalent treatment under the law. In June 2009, Sharpton honored the late Michael Jackson at the Apollo Theater in Harlem as a long-lasting companion of the Jackson family. Sharpton saw Jackson as a trailblazer and verifiable figure who held a profound friendship for the Apollo Theater. This occasion permitted Sharpton to respect Jackson's heritage and commitments to the diversion industry. On August 28, 2010, Sharpton, close by other social liberties pioneers, drove a walk honoring the 47th commemoration of the noteworthy Walk on Washington. The walk, beginning at Dunbar Secondary School in Washington, D.C., pulled in large number of members who strolled 5 miles to the public shopping center. This occasion filled in as a sign of the progressing battle for social liberties and fairness in America. One of the most huge cases that Sharpton became associated with was the disastrous killing of Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman. In 2012, Sharpton drove fights and walks condemning the Sanford Police Division's treatment of the shooting and request. In Zimmerman's capture, he energetically voiced his conviction that Zimmerman ought to have been captured, quickly underscoring that an individual can't shield themselves against a pack of Skittles and chilled tea. While Sharpton confronted allegations of racing to judgment, he kept up with that he called for quiet also. Further examination later, Zimmerman's quittance. Sharpton reprimanded the decision, viewing it as a wrongdoing and an insult to those who had confidence in equity. He coordinated rallies in numerous urban communities under the pennant of equity for Trayvon as a component of his continuous battle against racial unfairness. During George Floyd's memorial service on June 4, 2020, Sharpton conveyed a piercing commendation that reverberated with a great many individuals all over the planet. He enthusiastically called for equity in the case, requesting that the 4 Minneapolis cops liable for Floyd's grievous demise be considered responsible. Sharpton additionally made a move to scrutinize then-President Donald Trump for his discourse, explicitly bringing up Trump's emphasis on getting the military involved, while tending to the fight's sharp and feature the significance of recognizing the aggravation brought about police severity and communicated frustration that Trump neglected to address the 8 minutes and 46 seconds it took for the police to take George Floyd's life on April 20, 2021, when previous police official Derek Chauvin was indicted for the homicide of George Floyd. Sharpton drove a request with Floyd's lamenting family in Minneapolis. This huge second denoted a stage towards responsibility in a case that had started worldwide shock. What's more, touched off a restored call for police change in December 2022 because of the developing worries over prejudice and against Semitism in the U.S. Sharpton worked together with conspicuous figures like New York City Chairman Eric Adams, Vista Value Accomplices Chief and President Carnegie Lobby, Robert F. Smith Minister Conrad Tillard, World Qualities Network organizer, and Chief Rabbi Shaley Bowtie and Elisha Wiesel coordinated a bringing together function at Carnegie Lobby called 15 Days of Light, which celebrated both Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. This occasion was expected to encourage solidarity and, furthermore, understanding among assorted networks, while tending to the major problems of bigotry and against Semitism during the memorial service of Ty Nichols on February 2, 2023. Thanks for watching this video.